Hi everyone, it's Justin here, Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're watching, listening here in the United States or across the world. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day to spend with the Voices for Voices family. If you could give us a thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, reshare, repost, even pull out your phone. And if the phone's already out, if you could share the Voices for Voices podcast with maybe 25 or 50 contacts in your phone, let them know about our show, how we talk about hard topics, easy topics, everything in between, and just how grateful we are to have you and your contacts with us on this journey called life. We have the biggest goal of wanting to reach and help at least 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And we're well on our way. And again, that's thanks to you. We wouldn't be here if nobody was watching, nobody's listening. So thank you very much for tuning in, whether this is your first show or whether you've been with us from the beginning. If this is your first show, go back all the way to the beginning, download all those early shows, one all the way up to we're over 540 episodes, and we're going strong. Uh, wow, it's just remarkable. Um, I I was at the gym earlier today, and uh, it it was it was a good day. I had um, so our dog has uh, it's a it's a stick, but it's not real, and it is infused with peanut butter flavoring. And so yesterday, and then I'll uh, get to today. Yesterday, I was walking with my breakfast uh, into the living room, and uh, we at any given time have pillows and blankets and that and our dog Lucy's toys and all that. And one of the toys that was out was the stick that has the peanut butter flavoring in it. Well, the first time when I was sitting down, I was eating a peanut butter sandwich. So Lucy, our dog, comes up and she, uh, of course, wanted a bite of the peanut butter sandwich, which I, I couldn't give her. Um, and so I sat down, and she was sitting there, looking at me, uh, and I said, "Oh no, Lucy, I can't give this to you." Because it had the bread on it. And so to to get the story moving, I've heard how uh, some dogs, or maybe all dogs, right? Our brains just don't operate like at the same level. Um, and so Lucy surprised me. She was able to take the smell of the peanut butter on a peanut butter sandwich and equate that in her mind to her peanut butter stick. And so it was kind of a cool thing, because she was able to, again, she was able to equate, well, I smell peanut butter, I want peanut butter. He's not giving me the peanut butter sandwich, but she went over and got the peanut butter stick. And so she was chewing on it and doing her thing with that. So the second time through, um, so I went in the kitchen and then came back around. I guess I wasn't paying attention as much as I should have, and uh, I basically tripped over her peanut butter stick, to which my one of my toes started bleeding, and I got a huge black and blue bruise on it, uh, and it hurt pretty bad, and it was pretty sore. So I didn't get a work in yesterday, which was fine because we interviewed district attorney of San Diego County, Summer Stefan, and so it was good that I didn't get a workout in, so I was able to get that episode, turn it around, get it out, because of the timing. What we talked about Comic-Con 2026 in San Diego, and so it was one of those time-sensitive episodes. So I go to the gym today, and I was doing like a leg workout, and so I'm just going along and doing my workout, and I since I'm doing legs, I was thinking, well, I'll do cardio with my arms, and you've heard me talking about kind of the arm bike where you have the grips, and it's like your hands or your feet on a bike, and so you can go forward or you can go backwards. Um, and a gentleman sat next to me. Uh, no idea the age. And he goes, uh, how's it going? And I was like, it's going. And he said, you know what? He goes, you're the first person I've ever seen use that arm bike machine since I've been going here. And I don't know how long he had been going there. It looked like he'd been going there quite a long time. Uh, and so I got to think how how does that relate to, Voices for Voices and what we're doing and going to be doing and all we've done up until now, where we've kind of again just kept our head down and we just start filming shows, putting shows out, and we're over 540 now on our way to 600 and beyond. Uh, and so I started to think how many times we could have stopped, how many times we could have just packed it in, uh, and we didn't. And that was the easy thing to do. It was just to be like, you know what? We're just packing it in. And so this short conversation I had today, talking about the first person that this gentleman has seen using the arm bike, they call it, since he been going to that gym, and I just got to thinking of how many again how many times we could have just stopped and yeah, could have just stopped, but we didn't, and we aren't, and we are continuing on, uh, each show. we feel the momentum getting stronger and stronger, our analytics for what we're able to see, because there's a lot of privacy concerns out there, gathering numbers, gathering data, and that. So we can't see every single person that's watched, listened to an episode of the show. So we don't know. And we could look at the numbers that we see and go, you know what? No, like the let's just pack it in. Uh, and then I think of all the different topics that we've talked about and will continue to talk about, which are kind of like first, where some topics, some hosts and some shows they don't talk about, and that's fine. That that's fine. That that they don't talk about or have guests to talk about different topics. And so we do. And so I kind of feel like because we do, we're kind of doing some things that others haven't and others aren't and won't do. And so I try to get the story from this morning about being the first person ever seen, and I've talked to you before about this, where there's two pieces of electrical tape covering the uh, where you'd be able to see, how fast and the amount of time that you're using that particular bike, maybe calories, I don't know. Uh, but for somebody like me with my mental challenges and that, it's actually perfect because I don't have I don't have that screen to look at to go, okay, so how many minutes am I gonna do? How many calories am I gonna try to reach and that I've burned through this particular exercise? So it actually so that's one of the reasons I love that machine. And then the other is like I was telling the gentleman, I said when I was younger, I had shoulder surgery, and when I was starting my rehab, the arm bike was one of the warm-up exercises that I would do before we would get into some of the other exercises. Uh, and so that turned back the clock a lot of years for me to remember that. But I remember it uh, plain as yesterday of having that surgery and then starting the rehab and this particular rehab had uh, a whole wall of these machines. So while my gym has one where I was doing rehab, there was a whole wall. So there was, I don't know, maybe like six or seven, maybe more that were there. And so I thought that was pretty neat to hear that uh, I was the first person that he saw on use that particular piece of equipment, uh, and then tying it in with Voices for Voices, where we do. some things where others haven't and won't and aren't and all that good stuff. And so it's interesting how I can take that and then a peanut butter stick that I felt like I was gonna break my neck or something I mean, but I don't I don't know if my toes broken or fractured or what. All I know is it got a bigger and bigger black and blue bruise overnight. Uh, and Yeah, so I gotta watch out because Lucy's she's got her toys and the way this one blanket that we have is it's a fluffier blanket and so the peanut butter stick kind of sits down into the blanket, so it's a little harder to see. You might say, oh well, you didn't see it. It could have been, right there, plain as day. But it was kind of nestled down in this blanket. And oh my gosh, I it hurt, and I was not a happy camper at that particular time, and it wasn't Lucy's fault. It was my fault. I should have watched, uh, been more careful where I was walking. Uh, it was oh, but that hurt. So I was thinking yesterday, I'm like, man, like I'll have a day off. Like maybe I'll have like 2 days off. Uh, because if I'm not going to be able to do legs. But the only exercise that I really had a that I could really tell with my toe was like the leg press. That was the one that I could really feel, the tension with with that particular toe. Uh, yeah, there were ones, where the seated leg curl and then seated leg extension. Um, were okay. The calf raises were the one. Actually, yeah, not just the leg press, but the calf raises were the. I think I misspoke there. Oh well. Uh, yeah, the calf raises were because you have your toes and just a little bit of the ball of your feet um, on like the platform, and then you're using your calf muscles to raise your body up, and then let your body down. And oh man, that was uh that was very interesting. Uh, uh, it, I I try to go out of my I try to go out of my way to uh I don't want to say to a fault, but I, I try to be like extra cautious if I can. And it's been a while since I've been hurt, I think. Um, and so it was just oh my gosh, I was not happy. Uh, and so when I say that, oh well, like I might have had another day off from the gym, wouldn't have necessarily been bad, and it wouldn't have been bad even if I wouldn't have went today. But the way the schedule worked was usually I do 2 days or 3 days in a row, and then I'll have a day off. And so I'll go anywhere from, well, it's usually 5 days a week. Uh, so, I might go two and then a day off, and then three and a day off. So then there's five out of 7 days. But the way the schedule worked this week, um, I went one day. I was off a day. I went one day, and then because of the interview I was doing, I was at least definitely going to be off in the morning. And so the toe accident that kind of took the afternoon took the afternoon away, I guess, from going to the gym. And it wouldn't have been a big deal. It's not the end of the world at all. But we talk about trying to be consistent, and we want to keep the momentum and continue moving ahead in a positive direction. And how easy I could have just been like today that I'll take another day off. Was it going to hurt me? No, absolutely not. Uh, it would have just made tomorrow that much tougher because I've been like, oh, I took 2 days off, so maybe this week I'll just take, I don't know, and maybe I'll only go 4 days a week this week. So no harm, no foul at all. So you got me tripping over Lucy's peanut butter infused stick. You got me using a piece of equipment that uh, this gentleman said he's never seen anybody on it ever since he's been going to the gym. Uh, and it looked like he'd been going to the gym for quite a while. And then being able to tie that into, we go into uncharted territory at times with Voices for Voices and our show. And so it's just interesting how things go go together when we think about it. 'Cause I remember sitting there right when he said that, I said to myself, in my mind, like Justin, like maybe we could talk about that on the show. Luckily, I was able to remember that because my phone, like you have lockers and that for for valuables and that. So I didn't have anywhere to write it down because we don't write things down anymore like the old-fashioned way. We put it in our phone and then that's where we look. Uh, so uh, I remember going, yeah, I gotta talk about that uh, because it's true. We can take a lot of different experiences and events and really tie it to everyday life. And I was able to tie it to what we're doing here, Voices for Voices. And it kind of it made me feel good. Not just that the gentleman said that, it was more of that when I was realizing that us at Voices for Voices in our podcast and what we're doing, that seeing that perspective of, oh yeah, like I don't just look at something and go, oh well, no, like, we're not going to try it, we're not going to look at it. Um, there's some times where, again, that's the easy thing to do. Like, yep, that's easy. I'm not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to talk about that. But give it a try every once in a while. You never know. Uh, something that's not illegal. So something that's, lawful and not going to bankrupt yourself. Maybe give it a try. Uh, never know. There's all kind of analogies. Like we just never know. We don't know until we know. And we're not going to know that answer many times until we at least try it. And we try it and go, ah, yeah, that's that. We're not going to do that. Other things might go, oh, didn't realize it would be like that. Or we would get the feedback that we got. Uh, so maybe give something new a try this week or next week or today or tomorrow or whenever. And just see what happens. Never know. Never know. And again, who are we to judge and who are others to judge us? So we just keep it, in our minds, and we don't have to share it and go like, oh, this didn't work, so now I got to share that it didn't work. Uh, there's a part in the gym where there's different weights and like a like a punching bag, like pull-up bar, uh, so some other equipment, kettle barbells, uh, just a different variety in this particular room. And up until probably yesterday, well, no, it wasn't yesterday because I didn't go yesterday. The day before yesterday, every time if I wanted to do something, do an exercise in there, and somebody, I mean, it's a big enough room where they could have, a spinning class. Uh, so there's plenty of room for multiple people to be in there doing multiple exercises with weights or pull-ups or chin-ups or whatever I want to call it. And up until a couple days ago, I wouldn't go in if there was somebody else in there because I was like, oh, well, I don't want to, again, like I don't want to interrupt like their workout where they're at. And then sometimes I'll walk in there and I won't really know exactly what I'm going to do. Like if it's going to be like pull-ups or I'm going to do the balancing thing on like it's like half of a ball and then there's a, um, say, part of a floor where you stand and you try to balance on your two legs, and the ball part, or vice versa. Sometimes you stand on the ball part, the rubber part, get a good grip on your shoes. And anyway, so I wouldn't go in there because I don't know. I just didn't. I I don't know. I don't know why. I just didn't. But a couple days ago, there was a couple of people in there, and I forget what the exercise was, but I just had it in my mind. I was like, because like when you walk by, it's glass, so you can like see in there. And so you can, and other people do it too. They'll walk by and look and see if somebody's in there, and they'll either decide to go in and do their exercise or wait or some variation. And up until a couple days ago, wouldn't go in, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'll just do that tomorrow. I'll just do that the next time." And so a couple days ago, I just went in, and I didn't know which exercise I was going to do. One's more like agility in a way, uh, trying to balance, uh, you have that center of gravity, um, and so I did it. Like, it wasn't something that was so hard, but these are the things that somebody with now, whether it's my mental challenges I had, I don't know what it is. Uh, but these are like little things, like in the grand scheme of life. Like, oh, am I gonna walk in and do an exercise or am I not? I don't have to have a conversation, going back to a few episodes ago, I don't have to have a conversation with the people in there. I can still just go in and be focused on what exercise I'm going to do and then do it. Like I'm not going to get like a sticker taken away or an extra sticker given if I go in or if I don't. And uh, it just shows us like our mind is a funny place where, at least me, I'm able to, not all the time, usually it's after the fact, just realize how silly it is. Like, why would I be concerned if there was a person in there? Like when I do a weight machine, I don't wait until every single person is finished with all the weight machines before I start one. I just look over and see if it's open. If it's open, and then I go and I do it. Uh, it just shows me how tricky and how fickle our minds really are when they really don't need to be. Um, so I guess we'll add that to make it the trifecta, the three topics here for the show. But we're going to continue again on that foundation of mental health and trauma and recovery and all those things. And I can tell you this, when I go to the gym, when I do a workout, whether there's somebody in that workout room or not, whether there's somebody on a weight machine or using a free weight of 20 pounds, and that's what I was going to use. And so I got to find another machine or other free weights to do while the other person's finishing up. We just we just adapt and go from there. Uh, I guess I attribute for me all the times I went to the gym when I was, like I said, in my late teens and 20s, where I don't have to write a workout down. Um, in my phone, I keep, what I did a certain day so I can look back and go, okay, when was the last time I did legs? And then I can look back and go, oh, it's been 5 or 6 days. So then I'll be like, okay, I'll either do legs or I'll do shoulders. And that was the the dilemma I had 2 days ago was do legs or do shoulders. When I drove there, drove and went in, I didn't know if I was going to do shoulders or legs, and I don't even know how. I just went over to an arm a shoulder machine and I started doing shoulder exercises. So then I knew that the workout after that I was going to do legs. And so I took yesterday off, as I mentioned, and so today it was pretty much set in stone, I guess, um, that I was going to do legs unless that toe was going to bother every single exercise for my legs, which it didn't, thank goodness. Uh, But yeah, just a lot of things, right? Just a lot of decision making. A lot of should I do this or should I do that? And most of those are all going on in our heads. Like, we just don't hear a conversation like, well, you know what, Tom, I don't, I'm just using the name. You know what, Tom, I came in, it was either going to be leg day or it was going to be shoulder day. I looked over and the first machine I saw, it was a shoulder machine. So I just started doing the shoulders and that was that. Like, no, see how silly that sounds? It sounds super silly, and that's okay. I can laugh at myself and in many different times, many conditions, and that. Uh, and so that's like I said, we don't. I don't have those types of conversations with others. I mean, maybe we do. Maybe if we know people good enough and but like I've mentioned before, like I like to get in, do my workout and then be done and that's pretty much that. So hope you enjoyed this. It was a little more lighthearted. So if you have a dog, just make sure the coast is clear before you either walk or you roll uh, and in your wheelchair be before you go in a certain direction. So uh, don't get injured, whether it's a serious injury or not. It's just not fun. Uh, so thank you for joining us. You can give us a big thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, reshare, repost. Pull out that phone if you're on your phone. Head to those contacts and share the Voices for Voices podcast with your contacts. And you can always find the Voices for Voices podcast wherever you get podcasts. You and your contacts. You can find us anywhere. And we're so happy you decided to find us for this particular episode and all others. We're grateful to have you part of the Voices for Voices family. So let's celebrate the voices of the world and let's be a voice not only for ourselves, but maybe somebody else that isn't able to share their voice. So we'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.